Today is a monumental day in crypto. We're recording this on January 11th, 2024, and spot Bitcoin ETFs are launching for trading today in the United States. And while that is a good thing for long-term flows and bringing investors that may have been scared to put money into Bitcoin into the crypto market, there's an important lesson that we all need to remember, and we're going to talk about it in this video. So let's get into it. Welcome to the Crypto.Trainer YouTube channel, where we teach crypto for the average Joe. And today, spot Bitcoin ETFs are launching. And while that may bring inflows into Bitcoin and into the crypto market in the long term, there's something that us as active participants in the crypto market and people that are interested in crypto cannot lose sight of. And that's the fact that Bitcoin is not about centralized custodians or centralized actors. The ethos of crypto, the ethos of Bitcoin is about sovereignty, freedom, and decentralization. And so for me, while I think it is a great thing long-term for capital inflows into Bitcoin that these financial instruments, which we call ETFs, are approved for trading, we will likely see people who have traditionally not put money in Bitcoin allocate some portion of their portfolio to Bitcoin, because the fact of the matter is it's easier to have a centralized custodian hold your Bitcoin. It's easier to buy Bitcoin at $25 a share, $40 a share, whatever the market price on these ETFs will be, versus going to Coinbase and buying Bitcoin for, whatever it is right now. It's over my shoulder here, cycling every now and then, $47,000 or whatever number you might see on the screen. It's just easier to buy it at that lower cost. That unit bias, I think, is going to be very real. And the ETFs will probably break the record of first day inflows. I believe that will probably happen. And these ETFs will be instrumental in helping grow the overall exposure and breadth of Bitcoin across market participants. But for me, I'm not going to be investing in these ETFs. Now, I might buy a little bit of a few of them today just for the culture, just to invest a little bit in there and, kind of mark this monumental occasion. But as someone who understands Bitcoin, as I am, and hopefully whoever you are on the other end of this, someone who either understands Bitcoin or is seeking to understand Bitcoin, you have to know that having a centralized custodian keep your Bitcoin is not the way. Okay, Bitcoin is about self-custody. You need to take responsibility over your assets. And Bitcoin is the first digitally verifiably scarce asset that we have ever had. And people are going to realize that at an increased scale over the next 5 to 10 years. And that will likely cause the price of Bitcoin to go up and to the right. The same thing that's happened over the last 15 years with price. It will probably be a very similar story over the next 15 years. But again, the lesson of self-custody, Bitcoin is about freedom and sovereignty, and we don't need to lose sight of that. You need to take control of your assets. And I don't believe, for someone that actually understands Bitcoin, going down the path of using these ETFs, I don't see that as a viable option. That's just my opinion. Now, as far as where the market goes, I think it's very important to understand that the Bitcoin ETFs trade, I believe for the most part is over. Okay, if you're trying to make the Bitcoin ETF trade, like if you think Bitcoin is going to go from, wherever it is now, $47,000 to 100K in the next, 2 to 3 months, whatever your time frame is, that's in the near term, I think you're probably mistaken. You're missing the boat. There's a reason, there's been a lot of speculation in Bitcoin over the last, 6 months or so with this ETF upcoming. And that's been a huge catalyst for driving the price higher to where we are now. So yes, it's possible you might have missed the boat on the Bitcoin ETF trade, but I do believe you have an opportunity to not miss the Ethereum ETF trade, because that is where the market is going to pivot. And it's already started. You can see flows in the market. You can see price action with Ethereum and some of its beta, whether it be Arbitrum or OP or other layer 2s that are connected to Ethereum. BlackRock and others have already put in for an Ethereum ETF. And the SEC has a final deadline with BlackRock, I believe, of August 7th 2024. And BlackRock, their historical record of ETF approvals is something insane, like 575 to 1. So they've put in for 576 or something like that ETFs. 575 of them or something right around there to 1 have been approved. So the likelihood that we see an Ethereum ETF, the SEC, the CFTC, others have come out and acknowledged that Ethereum is a commodity like Bitcoin. So the likelihood that we see an ETF around that asset is probably going to be very, very high. And the fact is, market participants are likely going to be speculating on that over the next several months as we move towards that deadline. And so I think there's still an opportunity to get in the Ethereum ETF trade, because that's going to be a major narrative that the market takes from here. So the big lesson here to remember is, number one, the Bitcoin ETF launching, obviously huge news, but it's about self-custody. It's about decentralization. It's about not letting the institutions, the BlackRocks of the world, own your value. You have a responsibility to do that as someone that understands Bitcoin. And then secondly, the Bitcoin ETF trade, it's likely already happened, but there's a major opportunity with the Ethereum ETF trade. And I think we'll see that play out over 2024. So Ethereum and the beta to that, probably going to see increases in price over the next 6 months. That's my prediction. This is not financial advice. These are just my opinions. Who am I? I'm just another guy, on the internet talking about magic internet coins. But I hope you found value in this video, and I'll see you in the next one.